Man, I just found out that nobody can fucking hear me. So, well, that's what happens when I'm running two programs at the same time, trying to do way more than what I actually should be doing right here on this channel. But, we got Raider Pena in here, bro, and we're going to go all over this all over again. JB, my brother, salute Al's Ghost, and then we got J-Dub. And thank you, everybody, for dropping into the chat. Welcome to another episode of the Raider Critique. It's your preseason Week 3 post-game review versus the Dallas Cowboys. And before I even talk about what this game was yesterday, I want to talk about the great news that we ended up getting before the game ever even started. And it was that Josh Jacobs signed a deal with the Raiders that basically could end up being $12 million for 1 year with incentives, but at least he's going to be in silver and black. And I would like to, I'd actually like to hop on over to an article that I was reading about that right here. Let me go ahead and get that thing off the screen. Old J-Dub's comments over here covering up my mouth and everything. So we'll hit it with that one. What's going on, Nutty Raider Nate, man? Thank you for stopping in. Dark, good to see you. Richard Lyon, good to see you, brother. And, of course, my beautiful wife, Dizzy, thank you for stopping in. Yeah, man. Let me go ahead and move this on over. We're going to go and share the screen here on an article written about Josh Jacobs, because I really didn't get the chance to actually watch or even read about. I just, of course, Instagram and Facebook, they were bringing me up to speed pretty much. We're not going to accept that, but I'm going to go ahead and read it right here. This is from NFL Network, NFL.com. Raiders running back Josh Jacobs agrees to terms on a 1-year contract worth up to $12 million. When off-season standoff in Las Vegas is nearing its end, the Raiders running back Josh Jacobs have agreed to terms on a new 1-year contract worth up to $12 million, NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero reported on Saturday. The deal replaces the $10.091 million franchise tag and clears the way for Jacobs to return to the Raiders after staying away from the club throughout the offseason in training camp. Jacobs can earn another $200,000 in incentives under the new contract per Rappaport and Pelissero. Now, the team has announced the news since. Now, of course, Josh Jacobs posted right here on X and Instagram that he's back. Now, Jacobs led the NFL in rushing. This is something that we already know, which was a contract year for the 2019 first-round pick out of Alabama. He also kept the Raiders somewhat afloat in a season in which Las Vegas couldn't close games and all but wasted a top 3 statistical year for wide receiver Davante Adams. Now, Jacobs is currently one of the Raiders' 2 most valuable players, but Las Vegas declined to secure his services via a long-term deal before July's deadline for franchise tag players, following a league-wide trend in which clubs have avoided attaching themselves to even the best at the running back position. Knowing his earning power was at its peak, Jacobs avoided off-season activities and remained at home through training camp, waiting for his representation to reach an agreement, even if it lacks the security of multiple years. Now, Jacobs' deal resembles the adjusted 1-year contract signed in July by Giants running back Saquon Barkley, who also received the franchise tag and expressed dismay at a lack of commitment from New York. Now, Barkley ended up signing a deal worth slightly more than the franchise tag rate, thanks to incentives. Like Barkley, Jacobs' deal will also include incentives. Now, at 25 years old, if he's going to cash in, it will be soon. It is just likely that it will not be in a deal that lasts 5 years. Nick Chubb's 3-year, $36.6 million extension, signed in 2021, might serve as a model for what the Raiders could offer Jacobs, which would put him in line to remain with the team throughout his age 28 season. So I guess 2028. But the Raiders also a team undergoing change in year 2 of Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels led regime. They've demonstrated that they don't prioritize running backs enough to lock up the NFL's leading rusher. So there's no guarantee that they'll be quick to do so, even if Jacobs replicates his 2022 performance in 2023. The phrase caused by this standoff might also play a part in any potential deals. At minimum, though, this agreement means that the Raiders will welcome back theirs and the NFL's top rusher, eliminating a concern at the position with 2 weeks left before the start of the regular season, and that's better than the alternative. And we will leave it at that, Raider Nation. That's what the NFL and NFL.com pretty much had to say about Josh Jacobs coming over here and pretty much signing a deal with the Raiders, which he should have. Honestly, yeah, he damn might as well. I mean, he wasn't going to get offered any more money anywhere else, and he definitely wasn't going to make any money sitting at home. And I was sitting here calling out that he probably should have signed the franchise tag on the last video because it's coming so damn close for, the season to start. So I am man enough to admit when I'm wrong. I'm glad that he did end up ultimately signing back with the team. We're going to see him for at least one more season. And if he does extremely well like he did last year, expect Raider Nation for this front office to franchise tag him again if they don't come to terms on a longer term deal throughout the middle of the season this season. And I can see that happening. But I mean, at least they were able to put the money up on the book, put it up front and be like, yo, hey, here's $12 million with incentives. Just come on back. And maybe they gave him empty promises. Who knows? The only people who know exactly what was said in that locker room or in that meeting room in between these two parties is in between those two parties and their lawyers. And that's pretty much it. Nobody is really privy to know what conversations are going on behind closed doors, but at least he has signed with the team. He's back on this team. He's going to be there week 1, and we damn sure need him. We might have a shit ton of running backs on the squad right now, but who knows how many are going to make it after final cuts. We have to cut down to 53. So we move on to the game against the Dallas Cowboys, where we went and played them at AT&T Stadium right here in Dallas, Texas, where we dropped to them 31-16. Now, the team to me didn't look like they really played with, much tenacity behind them. Maybe they were all feeling relief that Josh Jacobs was coming back, but in all actuality, I really do think that it was a lot of third and fourth string guys out there playing for their jobs. And it really goes to show in the stats. Now on offense, man, this is how it went for the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell went 17 of 26, 178 yards, 6.8 yard average, no touchdowns, no interceptions, with a quarterback rating of 85.1. We had Chase Garbers also enter the game. I believe it was roughly toward the end of the third and he played the fourth quarter all by himself. He was 5 of 6 for 46 yards at a 7.7 yard average with a quarterback rating of 98.6. Total team in passing was 22 of 32 for 224 yards at a 7 yard average at an 88.5 rating. Now, our running backs, Damian Williams was our leading running back with 6 carries and 54 yards, 9 yards average, 1 touchdown, 24 being his long. Sincere McCormick, 5 carries, 27 yards, 5.4 yard average, 10 yards being his long, no touchdowns. Darwin Thompson, 4 for 13, averaging 3.3 yards a carry, his long was 6. And Zamir White, 3 carries for 3 yards, averaging 1 yard per carry, 3 being his long. So it was 18 carries for 97 yards as a total for our running backs at a 5.4 yard average, 1 touchdown, 24 being the longest run. Now receiving, Kristen Wilkerson was our leading receiver with 10 receptions for 122 yards at 12.2 yards per catch. 29 being his long, he was targeted 13 times. Jesper Horsted, he was targeted 3 times. He had 3 receptions, 28 yards at a 9.3 yard average, 14 being his long. Cam Sims 1 for 22. Michael Mayer 2 for 20. Trey Tucker 1 for 11. Keelan Cole 1 for 9. Philip Dorsett 2 for 8. Zamir White 1 for 4. Isaiah Zuber 0 for 0. He was targeted once. And Darwin Thompson 1 reception, no yards. He was targeted 1 time. As the total team in receiving, 22 receptions for 224 yards at a 10.2 yard average, 29 being the long, 29 targets total. Now, we didn't have any fumbles at all. And then when we move defensively, Drake Thomas, again, was our leading tackler. 7 total tackles, 4 of those were solo. All right? And I'm not even going to go over defense, man, because I was actually just like, defense to me didn't really, our 3rd and 4th stringers really didn't show up today. And I can tell you that just by looking at Dallas's passing. They had 1 quarterback see the field, which wasn't Trey Lance, by the way. It was Will Greer. And he went 29 to 35 for 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked once and hit once, and he had a quarterback rating of 122 flat. Their leading rusher was Hunter Luepke with 15 carries of 58 yards. He averaged 3.9 yards a carry. And then Will Greer topped that off with 10 carries and 53 yards, averaging 5.3 yards a carry, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. Their leading receiver was Tyron Johnson, 5 receptions for 90 yards at an 18-yard average. He was targeted 6 times. His longest catch was 33. And then Hunter Luepke, again, 5 receptions on 5 targets for 60 yards at a 12-yard average with 1 touchdown, 29 yards being his long. So literally our defense was used. I mean, our defense got handled this game. I mean, they put up over 30 points. We've got to have a better showing from our defense. But I really don't feel all that damn bad because Tyree Wilson did make his NFL debut yesterday. And even though he did look sluggish in certain plays that I saw him in there, you know, like his first drive or so when he was finally in the game, yeah, he looked kind of sluggish. He went inside when he should have been playing contain. You know, that all eyes were on Tyree Wilson when he jumped in the game, and he did. He got used in certain aspects of the game, but I mean, what do you expect from a guy who hasn't seen any NFL time this year? So it was nice. It was nice to see him get on the field. It was nice to see him get out there, you know, but he's rusty. And I mean, hey, it's kind of how it is, man. But I appreciate everybody for stepping in here, man. Let me see if there's anybody else in here. New Afakasi, brother. Thank you for stopping in. And then Farrahan, man, it's good to see you too, brother. Thank you for dropping by. And Dark, it's good to see you, bro. Carcast 49ers Talk, what's going on, man? Thank you for dropping by. And then Richard Lyon, my brother. How are you? I think Aiden shouldn't have been out there with those guys. I think Hoyer should have played. I mean, we wanted to see a lot more of Aiden O'Connell. I mean, I know I did. And Aiden O'Connell did not disappoint. Aiden O'Connell did look human, though. He definitely looked human in this game. Yeah, definitely, man. Hit that like button, man, if you haven't done it already. Hell, hit the dislike button if you want. It'll still help me. It'll still help put me in the algorithms. And yeah, man, I mean, it was nice to see Tyree Wilson out there. Now, we've already started making our first round cuts. And this dropped today that these were the guys that have pretty much just been dropped. You know what I mean? We're going to go ahead and make our first roster cuts. And Isaac Dark Angelo, linebacker, was our first one done. Linebacker, out of Illinois, 230 pounds. And then Ike Brown, I could have swore I already reported that we got rid of this dude. But I guess we went and picked his ass back up. Well, he obviously didn't make the first round here. So we got rid of Ike Brown, a cornerback out of Florida. I believe it's, Florida. And then we got Doug Costin, a defensive tackle out of Miami, Ohio. Bryce Cosby, cornerback out of Ball State. Chase Garbers was cut for the second time even after we brought him back. We went ahead and cut him again. He didn't even make it through the first round. You know what I mean? Quarterback out of California. And then we got Vitality Gurman, guard out of Toledo. He was cut. And then Darwin Thompson, the running back that played most of the game yesterday, was also let go. Now, players that were placed on the following players of injured reserve, or the reserve of the injured list, was Britton Brown, Jacob Hollister, and Isaiah Zuber. Now, also on this, that's not on this list, that 3 days ago, Brandon Parker, well, of course it was like a week ago, Brandon Parker went to injured reserve. Well, the Raiders have released Brandon Parker as of 3 days ago. He is now able to go off and search for another contract from a different team, and he'll be able to hit free agency after he's done with his injury. So, Brandon Parker, your time as a Raider, we appreciate everything you did. Really wasn't a big fan. You really did get our quarterback lit up an awful lot of times, but once a Raider, always a Raider, and I will salute you with your happy ass on your way out the door. And it was nice knowing you. You might be able to come back one day, but I'm pretty sure that you'll wind up looking and gaining a contract from some other offensive line needy team out there who really needs somebody to come in. And, you know, a guy like you, you've got something to prove. So salute to you. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, and good luck to you, my friend. Brandon Parker is no longer a Raider, and for that, I'll drink to that. Now, if we bring him back, I'm going to feel like such a dick. But I'm actually really happy that he's not going to be there anymore. So anyway, this is what has happened so far. And then we've got week 1 against the Denver Donkeys next week. Now, what I plan on doing is doing a pre-show on Wednesday or even possibly Thursday. We'll do a pre-show. We'll go over everything that we need to go over when it comes to the Denver Donkeys and these Las Vegas Raiders. And then it'll be post-game after the game. I do believe we're playing on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. But I would actually have to go and take a look at the schedule to see what we've got going on. But I think it's Sunday that we're playing this week. So you'll get your post-game on Monday of next week if the game is happening to be played on Sunday this week. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. And of course, if you're new here, don't let it be your last time here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more Las Vegas Raiders content right here on the Raider Critique, where we tell the truth with intensity and we don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid. And real talk, man, I'm glad that the season is finally underway. We did not go undefeated throughout the preseason, which is a damn good sign, because every time we go undefeated in the preseason, we normally get our asses handed to us in the regular season. So I'd rather go ahead and take that L, just like I was saying last video before. I would rather take that L and then not even have to, just get it out of our system. Get that first one up underneath our belt. It's where we know exactly what it feels like, that we don't want to feel like that again. So hopefully now we can take Jimmy Garoppolo. We can go ahead and start piecing everything together, seeing what we've got in our first team squad, because we haven't seen much of them. Just like we didn't see much of them last year. We did see a little bit more of them this year than we did last year, but we still haven't seen enough of them, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what our first team offense and defense is really going to look like. I'm also really interested in seeing how this team is going to cut down to the final 53 when it comes to the first week of the season. So, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more news that comes out later on throughout the week. And I'm pretty sure that we're all going to be bombarded with all the moves that this team's going to have to make, because they are going to have to get rid of quite a few players to get down to that mystical number of 53 men. So it was real good preseason. I'll give it that. Aiden O'Connell showed a lot of promise. I do believe that Aiden O'Connell, I think he's going to make the squad. Now, if there's some guys out there, man, that you think that possibly are going to make the squad that are flying up underneath the radar that most of us podcasters and every other fan is not talking about, please, man, leave a comment in the description, man, on the actual video. Who do you think is going to make this team that nobody on this fan base has even thought twice that the guy is not cut bait? So, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all got some pretty good opinions, and I bet you that some of y'all are probably going to hit the nail right on the head when it comes to some of these players. Like with me, I don't know if Trey Tucker did enough. I don't know if Trey Tucker honestly did enough for me to make me believe that he's going to make this team. You know, but then there are guys that I did see out there that I don't understand why they wouldn't make the team. Dudes like Polamalu. And yeah, Polamalu was pretty much all over the damn place last week. He was all over the place this week, and he was making hits this week as well. I mean, I can definitely see the guy at least being the backup strong safety or the backup free safety, whichever position he decides to play or wherever we need him. I definitely want to see that guy make the team, you know, and it would really surprise me if he didn't make the team, you know. But I think Aiden O'Connell is going to make the team. I don't know if Brian Hoyer really should make this team, but I know why he's here. All right, you ain't got to try to convince me at all. I know why he's here. It's pretty much for coaching. So he's going to make the team whether he's taking up a roster spot or not, but at least we know that in week 1, Josh Jacobs will be suited up as a Raider. And if you would have asked me this 2 weeks after he didn't sign the franchise tag, when it was pretty much noted that you either sign the franchise tag or pretty much walk, I would have never thought that this was going to end up as well as it ended up, which was having Josh Jacobs back by week 1. And at least it didn't end up like a Le'Veon Bell situation, because that would have really hurt this team, as if we would have had him and we weren't able to let him go and he did not want to come play. Because that would have just absolutely sucked for us. So at least we didn't have to deal with that, Raider Nation. We got the number 1 leading rusher in the NFL back in our backfield. And here we go, man. Week 1 against the Denver Donkeys. Let's go, man. Hey, I will catch y'all later. It's real late. I'm real tired. I got to go to work tomorrow. And I spent all weekend working on a vehicle, doing things to it that really I probably didn't even need to do, because it didn't fix the fucking problem anyway. So I'm back to square one. And I'm just absolutely dog shit tired. And I'm just real happy that the fucking preseason's over and we can start getting into some meaningful football. Because as much as preseason, as cool as it was, I'm ready to start seeing some substantial games. I'm really starting seeing some games count. That's what I want to start seeing. I want to start seeing some games count. Let's see what we've actually got in this team. Because I would like to see, is it all just one big hype? Because that's what it's been all offseason. Well, let's see this team finally put up the numbers that the fans have already given them credit for throughout all offseason. It's Raider Nation for life, man. Let's get it. I'll see y'all again on Thursday for the pregame show for the Denver Donkeys. Oh, yeah, man, I forgot to shout out Daniel Carlson with his 62-yard field goal looking like fucking Sebastian Janikowski back there. Man, we got a goddamn good kicker. At least we could say that.